the Fairfax March Luncheon, and I'm Melissa Clark, Director for the Fairfax Association. I also have a business here in Fairfax. I've been here 26 years, and it's CD distribution, and we sell salt, and it's been the best winter ever. Right, Davis? Davis is my nephew and works for me, and he just came on board before winter, and he's like, God, this is crazy. I'm like, that's not normal. This is great. So anyway, I am going to see if I can do this. I have just a couple things to say about what's going on with Fairfax. We have, the board has a steering committee. We are working on branding and signage for the Fairfax district. I don't know if you noticed, when you drive around, there's nothing that says you're in Fairfax. And this is really a big historical district. We're the oldest district in the United States. We have a ton of World War II history. The B-25s were built here. We have Rosie Riveters. We have landing craft tanks. I always switch that around. But anyways, it says boats that they put tanks on, right? Like that went the beaches in Normandy and all. So there's a ton of history down here. We have Cobb Point Park, Lewis and Clark camped here on their expedition. Not to mention all the things that the businesses have done down here over the last 100 years. So part of that signage is we're going to be tapping into the history and then hope to continue to develop from there. In May, we're going to do a presentation on the design concept, and I'm going to kind of talk about there's a master plan that FIA created last year, and we have kind of a bunch of projects that we continue to work on and improve some of its railroad crossings, which are in not good shape. But trying to get the UP, UG, and different groups of partners to take care of things down in Fairfax. So, and Steve with the Fairfax Drainage District is going to give a little update on drainage, and it's wet out there right now. So he's taking care of things, even though he's here eating lunch. He has his eye on. So we also have let's see, this is March. In April, we have Nate Bucati, who's a sports commentator, is going to be our speaker, and that's going to be at Neff Packaging. In May is FIA speaking. It's going to be at BPU. In June, we have Monsignor Swetlin. I don't know if you know him. He's the president of Donnelly College. There is a really neat story about Donnelly College and the things that they do for their students. And he even has a radio station, like he's on the radio. I don't know if it's daily or weekly, but he'll be a really great speaker. We take a break in July. In August, Congresswoman Davis is scheduled to speak unless she has to go to DC for something, but that's tentatively what we have going on, and we'll have more. A few weeks ago, several of you were here for a happy hour that we had. We had beer and wine and appetizers at Capitol Electric, and we did the festival, Fairfax Festival kickoff. So I guess I can talk. Oh, I won't do that. I'm going to show you something on the website, but I might have a little challenge getting to it. But I'm going to try it in just a second. So the Fairfax Festival. So you guys, there's these posters, save the date posters that you saw at the door. And there's postcards. So we want you to take these and hang them up at your business. And hang them up for a couple months. Let people mark the date. There's going to be, last year we had 500 people at the festival. It's down at Cobb Point Park. We have beer and wine gardens. We have a very competitive long game tournament that businesses enter and work up brackets to a championship playoff. The winner has a traveling trophy. They get their names on it. We have boat rides. We have Lewis and Clark reenactment. We have food. We have, the band this year is going to be the Zeros. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Zeros. A lot of people have. They're a very popular band around Kansas City. They play 80s music. They were the Plaza Art Fair's top band for like their Saturday night party thing. And so they play around Kansas City a lot. So it's going to probably bring in a lot of people more than outside of the Fairfax district. But we are going to cap the attendance at 750. So, so if you want to get in on the party, you probably want to get to sign up for sponsorships, because last year with our sponsorships alone, we sold 500 tickets. So, yeah, so speaking of, look at the sponsorship forms. There's a lot of great ways for you guys to sponsor the festival and get your names out there. Is there anything else I'm missing on that, you guys? There on my festival committee. Is that good? Okay. So take that, take your sponsorship. The other thing before I have you guys, let me forget, introduce yourselves. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Forgot I hit some button.
I feel your
I knew
pain.
it was gonna happen. Oh, I put it on here. If I get it first try, you guys are gonna owe me a round of applause. What would that do?
Impressed you got that far.
I got sources, and he said I was number 4. But I got that. I'm number 4. Oh, no. Can you ask Jason?
Want me to get Jason?
Yeah, if you could get Jason. So what we're going to do in the meantime is go around and introduce yourselves. So let's start down here. Go around if you want to just get up and briefly say your name and your business, and just going to turn around and announce yourself.
Things going. I'm Greg McDaniel with Kansas Speedway. I'm on the ticket sales side of things. Ryan's going to talk a little bit more on it later on, but I'll say I have a race coming up here the second weekend in May. Have any big questions or anything about that? Ryan sees.
David Trigamba, Director of Ticket Sales at Kansas Speedway. Everything Brady just said, but I'm David.
I'm Ryan, you'll be hearing plenty enough from me.
Hello, I'm Kate Kershaw with the Kansas City, Kansas Chamber of Commerce, and we have our annual meeting coming up at the Reardon Center April 4th, and we're getting really close to selling out. So if you're interested, let me know.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tom Allen. I am with Giving the Basics. We're a nonprofit located here in Kansas City, Kansas. We provide personal hygiene items free of charge to, gosh, over 200,000 folks in the Kansas City area who live in poverty. So,
Did you
it's a
say
great
give me
cause.
the basics?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. So giving the basics is, and we need to meet when I get back from
Definitely.
vacation. We did a, if you guys remember one luncheon a couple weeks ago, we did a donation where people brought donation drive-in. It's a really great organization, so we'll talk more about that.
Hi, I'm Steve Fitzgerald, and I'm with Environmental Works, and we do a lot of industrial facility maintenance, cleaning, and consulting.
I'm Steve Daly with the Fairfax Drainage District, and I'm also on the FIA board. And we do our best to keep the river from encroaching into Fairfax. So those of you who've been praying for rain can stop now.
There you go.
Rebecca James, I'm from Ababa, and I'm the festival committee.
Richard Weeds with the Bottle, and I'm also on the festival committee.
Good morning.
Marsha Harrington with the Wyandotte Economic Development Council.
Darren McDonald with American Micro.
Good afternoon, I'm Greg Smith with Industrial Hardware Distributor.
Hello, I'm Brent Lieber. I'm with First State Bank and Trust.
Hi, Kim Singleton with First State Bank and Trust.
John Littleton with Johnson County Community College.
Candace Barton with the Hampton Inn and Suites in Plaza.
Hi, I'm Steve Hill, the friendly electrician. If you need anything electrical, we're here for you here at Capital Electric. Thank you and welcome to our facility.
Tony Andreessen with the Brevard Insurance Group.
Mike Grandstaff with Constellation Energy. We're a natural gas supplier.
And I'm Jake Brown with Haas and Wilkerson and insurance as well, commercial insurance.
Phil McElhaney with First National Bank of Omaha.
Good morning, everyone. Richard Graham, General Manager for the Hilton Garden Inn KCK.
Good morning, Irma Kosovic, Director of Sales at the Hilton Garden Inn, Kansas City, Kansas.
Richard Scholl, Great Parkland Electric, and I'm also a full member on that project.
Kenny Anderson, I'm the East Patrol Division Commander that encompasses Fairfax. Joe Vaughn, a commercial real estate broker with Vaughn Group. I'm on the board, the festival committee, and the signage committee.
We keep them busy.
BPU Electric.
Al Garcia, BPU.
Kathy Steinmack, BPU.
Gina McCord, I'm Director of Resource Development with United Way of Wyandotte County. And the Festival Committee. And in charge of the 50/50 raffle. So, when you come, be prepared with your cash to buy tickets.
When?
And when.
Good morning, Kathy Lucas, Legal Shield.
Kevin Bowman, Nabholz Construction. Jason Kane, Reardon Pilot Company.
Davis Clark, City Distribution.
Hi everyone, John Salazar, Wyandotte Economic Development Council.
Ken Brown, RBC Casino Hotel Park.
Jamie Strine, ExxonMobil. Lindsay Yates, ExxonMobil. Tara Laws, Botter.
Trevor Kurtz with Express Employment.
Chris Harry, Rose Design Build, architects and general contractors.
Sam Jones with Cross First Bank. Dustin Hammonds with Cross First Bank.
Jessie Lostalso with Environmental Mechanical Contractors. So any need in regard to mechanical HVAC, I'm here.
And our new member.
Mark Ward, Mark Wood,
Good afternoon, Eric O'Shea, EJ's Urban Eatery over in West Palms.
Make sure you go over there and have lunch. 5 minutes from here.
Marshall Dominguez, Kansas City, Kansas Community College Tech Program. So if you need any training, internships, we look at that as well.
Connor Johnson, Miller Pest and Termite.
Joe Hedge, Miller Pest and Termite. I am also on the committee for the
Festival.
Committee, food and beverage side of it. I like food, I like beverage.
Wait, is that Henry back? No, he's back there.
I'm Chris Wallace, I'm with Capital Electric. Thanks everybody for coming today. We really appreciate you guys coming to our facility. If you'd like a tour or something afterwards, hopefully I'm still tied to my desk, which I love being. You guys can come and get me, I'll take a little tour around the facility. Restrooms are right down the hallway here, and I'm the second friendliest electrician in the so if you guys need anything, please give us a call.
And thank you for hosting.
John Valdivias from Lippert Mechanical.
John Manis, I'm one of your community policing officers.
Dick Schaefer, I'm the community policing officer here in Fairfax.
So he's going to be going, he's new as a community police officer assigned to Fairfax, so he'll be going around to visit all the businesses, make sure you're doing okay. We have what? John was, Officer Landis was, but he's now South Patrol, and he's going to be East Patrol. We're East.
Otto Sweet, Mark One Electric.
I'm Don Gardner. I'm an architect with FIA, Engineers and Architects.
Happy Thursday, everyone. I'm Aflac Annie. I'm with Aflac.
Is that everyone? All right. Okay, so, oh, look, it did it. Okay, so this was not my fault. It's trying to itself out. But as many of you who know me well knows that electronics are not my friends. Often. Let me see if I can do it without them. I have something cool to show you. I really want it to work. You saw it on the screen, right? Do I need more training? Is that what you said?
No, I said you were green. That's what.
Oh, I wasn't green. See, it's on my screen here. Okay. Learn it. Yeah, it's time for me to have the luncheon. Yeah, that's okay. Well, I guess I can show it. I don't know. Well, I'll try to pull Jason in after. So we have video luncheon. We record our videos, or we record our luncheons now. Lavella's back there recording the luncheon. Say hi to Lavella, everyone. You turn around, wave at her, and be on video. She also takes beautiful pictures. She's a photographer for our festival. She does amazing work. So there is now a video sponsorship available. It's new. It's $150. As the video is playing, oh, here you come. Your name.
Let's hear it for
your
Jason.
company name.
Jason's ready to apply.
I did that. Oh my God, that was David. Don't even laugh at me.
Just gotta lock out like this.
Don't go very far.
Okay, good. Yeah, don't go far because we're going to this was our last luncheon. So we recognize our host and sponsor. Look, CD Distribution was the video sponsor. So this goes out on social media. It's on our website. Okay, now we're done. Now if I can get out of it. Okay. So it's just kind of to show you, and then you can play through the whole luncheon, but it's going to give you a lot of recognition for marketing of your business for $150. So what I'm trying to do is sell 2 of those for today's luncheon. So if you want to sign up, let me know. And then we have the sponsorships available on the website to sign up for the rest of the year. And we've already sold several of them through an email. So it's just another opportunity to get your business name out there. And we do a lot with social media. We're getting a lot better at that. One other thing before I turn this over to Ryan, and we'll see how his presentation pops up. Don't leave. But Steve reminded me codes. In November, there's a committee called SOAR that's with the Unified Government. They went around and visited all the businesses. We're going to start really working on codes, and now that spring is coming, make sure that we're all being good neighbors and that we're maintaining our property and keeping weed-free, lawns mowed, the paint is freshened up, all those different things to help make our community look well. So that is, we're meeting again in a couple of weeks, and then they're going to be going to revisit businesses that might need to address some of those things. Is that good?
Good.
Did I handle that okay? Okay. So that's it. So now I am going to ask Ryan Hogue, who's, we're both members of the Kansas City, Kansas Chamber board members, and he is Director of Marketing and Sales.
That's close enough.
From Kansas Speedway. They're going to have big events starting in May. And let him
Switch it. If you want to just bring this keyboard up to
Do you want me to help with anything?
All right, works.
There you go.
Thanks Melissa for inviting me and the opportunity to speak to this group. Thanks Capital Electric, great facility, first time been down here, so it's awesome. So appreciate all of that. Briefly got introduced to 2 of our team members, some of our ticket sales extraordinaires, Braden and David. Braden's Texas Tech guy, David's KU guy, so if things go well for them, they'll probably have some trash talking going on in the Big 12 tournament here pretty soon. My team is actually playing right now. I'm Arkansas guy, SEC tournament guys probably don't care. And they're kind of in a transition season anyway. Hoping to have more wins next year. But speaking of transition season, NASCAR here lately, I think what I call has been in a little transition period due to several of the stars of the sport, popular drivers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, several more, Tony Stewart, retiring. And so kind of in that transition period of young, up-and-coming, very talented drivers, finding their way, getting the experience they need to start winning races. And kind of just the fan base, some of the fans aging out, and the younger generation getting exposed to NASCAR in different ways. And so talk a little bit about what we have to do and what I've been focused on the last 2 or 3 months anyway, is advertising to consumers and trying to fill those grandstands, bringing people in from outside the area that helps, you know, Wyandotte County and Kansas City as a whole to our events. So what we do in the off season, we got to pass, you know, after 2 race weekends, what do you guys do the rest of the year? There's a lot of planning, a lot of meetings. We're in from November to end of February, we're in heavy renewal mode with our customers from the previous year. And now we're in heavy sales mode, so like Braden's on the phone almost constantly, probably glad to have a break from that and come here. And so then if a customer needs some extra assistance, then they go to David, so he gets that fun job. So so we're in sales mode right now and promotional mode and working on planning for the May race. And so each year we work with our ad agency, which is Trezolo Communications in Kansas City, Missouri, across the river there. They help us come up with a new, fresh kind of campaign. So after various meetings and discussions, 2 things we want to try to do this year is take that casual NASCAR fan that does follow the sport, watching the races or just following it on their mobile device or whatever, to encourage them to come out to the track, buy tickets, come and see it live when it comes to our area. And then the other side is through some of our messaging, maybe educate and entice maybe a non-NASCAR fan to come out and try it, but understand that it's a little bit more than just cars going around the track. So some of our messaging, some of our radio spots, that kind of thing, have some of those little things in a fun way to kind of get that word out. So things a lot of people still don't understand. First of all, we're not sold out. A lot of people still think we are. We haven't been sold out a long time, so we've got to get back to that point. But we have free parking. That sets us apart from some of our other sports competitors within the area. Great tailgating space. Ability to bring in your own food and drink. A soft-sided cooler about this size. You can bring in whatever you want in there, just no glass. Scanner rentals, I'll talk a little bit about that, but that's very, very interesting and something people don't realize, and when I get to it, you might not realize and might be surprised about that. We want to talk about in some of our ads the pageantry of the pre-race experience. That's really part of the whole NASCAR race, is the build up to it. Youth pricing, family 4-pack option. Ability to make memories with your friends and family when you come out there. So many different ways. Maybe kid meets a driver, or maybe you spend the day with your dad and he sees his favorite driver, or whatever. And then a few of those we call goosebumps moments that happen in a race, whether it's the drop of the green flag and 40 cars, you know, on the gas and they come around full speed and you just feel it in the grandstands, or the big wreck that happens that's kind of like takes your breath away a little bit. So talk a little about that. So if you don't know much about Kansas Speedway, this is just a little slide. Won't spend much time on it, but we're fortunate to be strategically located out where we are, I-435 and I-70, so good ingress and egress traffic flow, which is always scores high on our surveys. There's no 4-hour wait to get out of the facility, and that's thanks to the roads we have around. Obviously, we were kind of the anchor tenant to everything that's built up out there, and with Hollywood Casino and the Legends, that kind of thing. Our commitment, kind of our internal motto, is to offer the best guest experience in motorsports. Who owns Kansas Speedway? ISC, International Speedway Corporation, a publicly traded company. We're part of that family. As you can see, they have tracks in some major markets outside of LA where they're racing this weekend. Miami, where Braden used to work, and Chicagoland, the track up in the New York State, upstate of New York, and then some iconic tracks, Daytona, Talladega, Darlington, Martinsville. Darlington and Martinsville are kind of like the Wrigley Field or Fenway Park of NASCAR. Richmond, and then also the radio network, so any race at any of our tracks will be on the MRN Motor Racing Network and AmeriCrown. is our concession and catering company. Obviously, we're part of an entertainment destination out there. You guys are aware of it, but people outside the region, and as we talk to partners who aren't familiar with us, this is a big deal to the drivers and the industry that comes in, because we're not a track in the middle of nowhere. Some tracks, they get there, there's nowhere to go within 30 miles, so they just stay there. But here, I mean, there's lots of things to see and do, obviously. And our fans travel, and they spend money when they travel, so they're dropping money all around the area. So our schedule this year, May 10th and 11th, our night race weekend. Friday night, May 10th, is the Truck Series race, and Saturday night, May 11th, is the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race. So we're very pleased and happy to have a night race. It kind of sets us apart from the 2 weekends, and it's just a spectacle with the lights on the cars, and it's really a lot of fun to see it all at night, see the sparks fly when they wreck, that kind of thing. That's part of it, you know. In between race weekends, I know you can't read this, I just kind of wanted to show, we do have a lot of events out there. A lot of people don't realize we use the facility quite a bit throughout the year. Here's a picture of Treads and Threads. Some of you may have been out there. That's a constant event we have every September in the infield. But some of our larger events, American Royal, World Series of Barbecue, NASCAR Racing Experience, where you can get in a car, drive, and ride in one high speed. That's 18 dates. They're out there over the summer. Charity fundraisers, runs, bike challenges, car shows, sponsor events. Some of our top sponsors use the facility for various events, job fairs. KCK Fire Department and Police Department do motorcycle training. The Police Department does, the Fire Department. There's ambulances sometimes running around out there, and I'm looking out, whoa, what's going on? Oh, it's just a training session. This morning I pulled in, I don't know what was going on, but there were several, I think it's Highway Patrol, using our conference center for meetings, SWAT vehicles and stuff. So these are just what we have booked right now, and it'll pick up and we'll fill it in, even more events throughout the year. There's just a lot of them, most of them we don't publicize. They're private events. They're events that they rent the facility. We don't have the budget to advertise for them, so they advertise on their own. So we may not hear, some of them we may not even know about. Then in October, a big playoff race weekend. So every sport has a playoffs. We're part of NASCAR's playoffs. October 18th is actually an ARCA Series race, which now is owned by NASCAR. That's their championship race. And then Saturday, Sunday are 2 playoff events. Xfinity Series, Monster Energy Series again, with the Kansas Lottery 300, Hollywood Casino 400. Both of these are on NBC, so great exposure for us and the area. We had some fun last October when the Chiefs game flexed to Sunday night, and so NBC kind of had a full day of Kansas City with our race, and then the Chiefs game, and announcers from NBC, Dale Earnhardt Jr., some of those guys all went over to the Chiefs game, Clint Boyer. So a lot of good back and forth with the TV network on some of that helped just the entire area. Some excitement there, extra publicity. So our goal every year when we set out to promote the track is to fill the grandstands. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. Full grandstands, they solve any problems we may have by the industry, corporate, whatever. It looks great on TV. The sponsors, prospects, people who are there with the teams enjoy seeing people in the seats. So it's a big deal. We fill the grandstands for our 2 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series races. Kind of unrealistic for the truck and Xfinity, but for those 2, we need full grandstands. So who do we market to? How do we do that? Well, here's where our fans come from. As you can see, there's a little shaded area in every state. And we sometimes multiple countries come in to our race. And I think just our geographically located center, it's just easy to fly in here and get out. But mainly an egg-shaped oval, more north of us than south. But Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska is kind of our main sweet spot there. Little demographic info. Fans that come to our races typically attend other races throughout the year, so they travel around and hit our track wherever they're going. Also, you can see, 35% come from 200 miles or more. Also, unfortunately, 36% are in the metro area pretty much. This, then 50 miles for sure, is something we've got to increase. We need more people coming out there from Kansas City to help us continue to succeed. So our fans tend to be a little younger than the typical NASCAR fan and higher household income than the other NASCAR data. So, and then our top DMAs, this is where we run advertising. Kansas City, Omaha, Wichita are huge for us, and then the rest of them do really well, where we'll advertise in different ways in those DMAs. For this May race, because it's on a graduation weekend and Mother's Day, we're going to try to just focus on Kansas City, Omaha, and Wichita for the most part, and then branch out and spread out our advertising for the October race and in other DMAs. So, our advertising plan. So when I went to high school, there was no marketing classes. So many years ago, in college is when I first started learning marketing and learned about the P's of marketing. And when I present this to high school teachers, marketing teachers, college, they kind of really enjoy this slide because this is what they're actually teaching the kids. So this is what we've got. We kind of look at when we're talking to our ad agency and just internally is got to have a plan. What's your budget? Got to know your product and why people will buy it. Price. We look at price a lot. Our track president does a big pricing analysis every summer. Who we're going to market to, who's buying it, how we promote and persuade them to buy, where they are, the perceptions. We have perceptions in our sport we need to try to overcome, but also capitalize on. And then publicity, public relations, that's kind of that free advertising. Fox 4, there's some relationships we have there. Rob Collins, if you watch Fox 4, he's doing sports now. He went to Daytona and did some segments and hits from Daytona before the Daytona 500. And it must have really been a big hit because Kansas City was in the top 5 markets for viewership at the Daytona 500, and that rarely ever happens. We were right there with Charlotte. So we think that had something to do with it, and that's just building relationships and that free publicity about the sport. So everything we do is all designed to fill the funnel. Our traditional advertising is to build awareness, the race is coming, and then try to get people to go to KansasSpeedway.com to get information, or search NASCAR tickets Kansas City, something like that. And then we try to serve different digital ads, things on Facebook, drive people down the funnel, and it takes multiple, usually, impressions to get them to eventually convert and buy. And so the way digital ads and that kind of thing is now, it's a huge part of our strategy, where 5 years ago it wasn't as near as big. So we're doing less traditional, more digital. Facebook is unbelievable for us as far as spending this much and getting this much in revenue. It's just unbelievable. So continue to find ways to do that. But we also have to take care of our current customers. We have an amazing, loyal group of season ticket holders, and people who buy tickets for one race weekend or another every year. And it's why we've had the success we've had. We just have great fans from several states that really plan and be there every year. So we got to do things to keep and retain them. And so we can't just take them for granted. So over the last 5 years or so, we added our first Cup Series night race. And that's something years and years ago when I was doing chamber trade shows and expos and all those kind of things, people asked, first of all, you're never going to get a second Cup race. We finally did that. Then when are you going to get a night race? And some of these things take a while. That took about 3 years to get the funding for the lighting, some of that kind of stuff. So finally got that on the schedule. Then we widened our bench seats. You can see on the green bench here, we kind of had 20 seats in a row. We made them like 18 seats in a row. mainly because we were getting a lot of negative feedback. Seats weren't wide enough. If you're the last two people to show up and your row's full, there's nowhere really to sit unless you're sitting kind of sideways. I don't know how many times at the ticket office I had to relocate people because they couldn't fit in their row. So we fixed that. Added parking for all season ticket holders. Some season ticket holders have parking, not everyone. Now everyone gets a parking pass. That just gets you closer. It's still parking, still free, but they get closer in. And that took us a couple of years to figure that out. You can imagine that. We had to find the space. We had to do some things with our ADA parking to make the flow and everything work. Some other options. The biggest investment we've made in a while is adding these drink rails to a lot of the sections. And not every row in every section, but some rows and some sections have a drink rail. Most fans come with a cooler and they come with a headset and they've got all their gear. They've been out and spending money into merchandise and they got their favorite driver's gear, cell phones, all of that. So nice place. There's little hooks under there to hang your purse. Ladies don't want the stuff on the ground, beer getting on it. So after this, when you talk to Braden or DT over there about buying tickets or ticket information, ask about sections with drink rails. I think you'll really enjoy that. It'll enhance your experience. A big campaign, we've looked at a lot of data over the off season, not only us, but ISC across the board. We're all pretty good. The track's at getting people out for the first time. What we're not that great at doing is educating them in advance of coming out so they know, I've talked to Kate about this, so they know what they should do when they get there. And so we have a pretty focused campaign now, sending emails as we see people that this is their first time. We have them on record as buying with us. May not be their first time at the track. It's the first time as a ticket holder we can see. They get a series of emails with different information in them. And then we're also really trying to get these scanners or fan visions in their hands, because what you can do with that is you can listen to the drivers talk to their crew chief in the pits and their spotter on top of the grandstand on the suites. And they're talking strategy. It's like listening to Patrick Mahomes talk to Andy Reid, an offensive coordinator or something on the football field. You can do that here. You can scan and just listen to whoever's talking. You can plug in your favorite driver or the driver in the lead. Really a good way to follow it. On the fan vision, you can actually watch in-car camera feeds and TV feed and have it just like the size of an iPhone. So we're trying to get those in people's hands. It just gives you more knowledge of what's going on. You're more into the experience of it. And so we kind of have different target audiences. We have some that they know NASCAR. They follow it. This is just their first time coming to our track. So we need to tell them about how to park and get in, traffic and what our gate policies are, those sort of things. And then we have first-time NASCAR fans. They don't know anything about it. Who's number 24, who's number 12, any of that. What's that thing in the middle with all these numbers on it? You know, we don't know what that is. So we hear that, and we're trying to do a better job of educating them with a little bit different message. So,
is there a fee for the scanners?
There is, yeah. And so you get a really good discount if you buy in advance and add it to your ticket, or do a ticket bundle, or when you call in, you get Braden. He's got some different discounts and that kind of thing. There's actually some flyers up here that has a little information on that. And they're available at the track too. It just, if you can get them in advance, you'll save some money. So,
as an example on pricing, you can get a scanner and 2 headsets. If you bundle it with tickets by calling us, you can get it for $20. And at the track, if you get the same thing, it's about $65. The fan vision is, I want to say $27.50, and at the track it's about $85. So if you're doing it in advance, we're trying to make it as reasonable as possible, and it really does enhance the experience. So then hopefully it kind of improves that retainment of the new customers that we are able to get out, because data that we've looked at, a first-time fan, they'll come back 10 to 15% of the time, but if they have a scanner, it's almost 50% of the time. So it's just, the experience is that much better. And to the point about, you cannot listen to Patrick Mahomes, what he's hearing on the field, but you can listen to every driver you want to, or your favorite. It just kind of enhances everything you're doing at the track, so you're not just seeing, wonder what happened, you can actually find out and go back and listen to it.
Yeah. So, and then the reason why we're able to add offer these discounts this year, and we haven't really as much in the past, is Racing Electronics that owns these was a separate company, but over the end of last year, ISC bought Racing Electronics, so now they're part of the family. Now we can get aggressive with these offers to get them in people's hands early. Acquiring new customers, just various offers. I won't go through all of them, but youth tickets 12 and under for the truck and Xfinity race, they're free in select sections. There's family 4-packs, scanner bundles, group tickets, you save money and get some free pre-race access if you have a group, bring company out or whatever for a race. College students, military, first responders, there's lots of different offers we have available. Then once you get the tickets, there's different ways to enhance the experience, whether it's a pre-race pass to get you down in front of the stage for the concert, into the fan walk area for where the drivers are going to be going to the drivers meeting. So it's like a red carpet. This drivers walk in there signing autographs. Very popular. Lots of people get the pre-race pass. And it's free for season ticket holders. It's a benefit for them. Our fan hospitality ignition garage is in the garage area. When the truck series moves out, we set up one of their garages and have a hospitality area, food, beverage, kind of an all-inclusive with garage tours. This $500 VIP experience, something I oversee, limited to 50 people, kind of that bucket list type thing, where you get really behind the scenes all day, various access, and guided garage tour by Glenn Jarrett, Dale Jarrett's brother, Dale Jarrett, but anyway, very informative. Get inside the driver's meeting. It's a lot of fun. And then camping, what's still in high demand is camping. We have 2,200 camping spots. If you go down State Avenue race weekend, I'm sure you see all the RVs. When we first opened, we had infield and terrace spots and the Richmond campground by the casino. And then recently, in the last few years, we've added Phoenix campground and Daytona campgrounds. These are where park, maybe if you go to a Sporting KC game, those paved lots over there. Last year, we added this Turn 1 terrace, Martinsville campground, and tent camping for the first time. So continue to get calls and inquiries and demand for camping. So we keep trying to find ways to add that.
Have you looked into that glamping?
We have a little bit, yeah. Haven't gone that far yet, but it's probably coming. Yeah, it's hard to make that work for just like 2 nights, If we were able to just offer it throughout the summer months or something, it might work financially, but just 2 weekends, having that whole setup just doesn't really work well for us. It's better to just sell the ground and let somebody bring their own thing.
We've looked at tiny houses as well.
Yeah.
Bring in a little village of tiny houses.
That's for all of us to live in on race weekends. Yeah. So traditional advertising won't do too much, but TV, radio, out of home, billboards. This is kind of fun. We do some college professional sports partnerships with the radio affiliates. And most of this is for the fall race because you got football going on then. We're doing some stuff with the Royals before our May race, so you'll hear ads in April, Royals games. Digital email, talk about how big that is, but what you can do with that is segment, target various messages to the different audiences. It's kind of scary, as you guys probably know what all you can do, but our ad agency handles this for us, does a great job, and then we have a digital and social media manager who works on the strategy and the messaging with the ad agency and what she thinks will work, because that's kind of, she's a lot younger than me. Social media and digital stuff, it's hard to keep up with. So I'm glad we have her to handle that for us. Here's some of the digital ads. If you go to KansasSpeedway.com looking for stuff, and you might get some of these ads, but they kind of flash, animated. Pack your earplugs, fill your cooler. You haven't seen fast till you feel it. Some of those kind of messages that'll flash in and then end on, May 11th, UN. We'll get into the UN in just a minute. Social media, so we try to have a year-round presence on social media and engage with our fans, not just leading into the race weekends, but all year round, taking advantage of what other tracks are doing or current trends, pop culture type stuff. We can stay relevant throughout the year. Campaign creative is, and I'm almost done, I'm on time here. So next week, when you go to Kansas City online, kansascity.com or the Star, and get a bracket and fill out your bracket for the NCAA tournament, you'll see this ad. You're the first ones to see it outside of our office. But busted bracket, busted everything. And this is from our big wreck we had last year where about 8 cars were just torn up, one on fire, and towards the end of the race. And then you'll see these billboards around town, starting off with under the lights and your speed times 3, where there's not any traffic jams kind of on the outskirts. Go with about 60, imagine going 180. And then we'll roll out the UN here in a little while. But family 4-pack in KC Parent magazine, promote the kids. So the UN, as we talked about, we wanted to show different people in different ways experience the race. So this guy doing this thing is in, this girl doing this thing over here, this kid's in, this driver's in, you know, the team pit crew's in, all those kind of fun little sayings we came up with in our ad agency. I got 2 radio spots I'm hoping we'll play for you. They haven't even heard these yet because they're fresh out of the studio. We just finished recording all these and got them yesterday. So, but basically, it's just every line supposedly, you know, is supposed to like educate about free parking or maybe about bringing in your own food and drink or the tailgating, maybe different aspects of the race, whatever. We have 3 spots, but only had 2 available to put in here. So we'll see if I can get one to play. It's over there.
The camper flying 18 flags is in. The guys on pit road are in. Second graders with mohawks, in. Bratwurst for your 25 closest friends. Bring it in. And because it's BYOB, your soft cooler is always in. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Kansas Speedway, Saturday, May 11th, under the lights. Tickets at KansasSpeedway.com. You in?
It's a good ad. Here's an explanation about bitches about.
It's cool.
The family with the 8-foot stainless grill is in. Bachelorettes hooting at the drivers are in. The tightwad dad doing a free parking fist bump. He's in. Nana with 6 speeding tickets. She's in. Cornhole aficionados and NASCAR newbies in and in. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Kansas Speedway, Saturday, May 11th, under the lights. Tickets at KansasSpeedway.com. You in?
So I'm proud to say that tightwad dad, the free parking, I wrote that part thinking of my dad who'd be like expecting to pay $20 and it's like, sweet, don't have to pay? Yeah. So just a way to kind of work in the free parking in a fun way. And then also we needed something after that. We were in the studio and so Dave's like, we need some kind of sound effect. We don't have anybody doing anything. So I went in, actually, I'm the one that says, oh yeah. So if you hear that, you're like, oh, that's right. I said, oh, yeah. How many times do you have to say, oh yeah, it's kind of funny in there. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Until they get one they like, you know.
You nailed it.
So anyway, we have some fun when we can. So, and then we're out and about. We still do some grassroots efforts, prospecting efforts. Ray and David and the team get out to various events. We were in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at what's called the Chili Bowl Nationals. It's an indoor sprint car event. A lot of NASCAR drivers are either participating or owning these cars. It's a huge deal within motorsports. We had a display there. This is an up-and-coming guy you'll be hearing a lot about if you don't know already, Christopher Bell. He signed autographs for us while we were there. We're doing a thing with the Renaissance Festival, kind of a craft beer, you know, it was a good timing for us right before a race, Caves and Eggs. The Country Stampede, we've been out there a lot of times. Iowa Speedway is a friend of ours, so we're going to do some things with them. Knoxville Nationals is similar to what the Chili Bowl is up in Knoxville, Iowa, a major event in that sport. This is Casey Kane at Knoxville last year signing autographs. And we're trying to figure out what we're going to do over in St. Louis with Gateway. We have a really good relationship with them. So just trying to get around in the region to inform people that our race is coming up, help them with tickets, camping, whatever. Some more pictures of Country Stampede. We were at the Kansas State-Texas game last year trying that out. Talking to the K-State fans. See one over here. And so, you know, these guys are in, so we're going to ask if are you in for some good racing at Kansas Speedway this year. Last year we were fortunate to have most popular driver kind of took that crown from Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chase Elliott, win our October race, Hollywood Casino 400, and then Kevin Harvick, one of the top drivers in the sport right now, won the KS Masterpiece 400 in May. And speaking of that, we don't have a sponsor yet for our May race. Before KS Masterpiece, it was Go Bowling. Ken is very familiar with them as he took care of them at Argosy Casino in their rooms, a bunch of bowling proprietors, and they had a lot of fun. KS Masterpiece came in as a branding thing this last year, but it was a one-year deal. So if one of these worldwide brands might be represented in here today that's looking for national exposure, it can be the blah, blah, blah 400. We'd be happy to promote the heck out of you on leading into and during race weekend, that's for sure. So that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions or anything I need to explain further or whatever.
Got a lot on it.
Yep.
Just like to give you a little history.
Yeah.
I'm Joe Bott. I was a commissioner at the time that this was brought to Kansas
Awesome.
City.
Yeah.
I was one of the people who went to Daytona Beach and made the presentation. It took it away from Kansas City, Missouri, and put it where it should be, Kansas City, Kansas.
I appreciate it.
That's, there was 10 commissioners and the mayor that voted on that. It was a 100% vote, and I think you ought to have all of us back at the track to celebrate that.
I've talked to Pat about that, yeah. But I appreciate it because that's 17 years put food on my table I've been there, so it's been fun. Hi there.
Just a question for you. I remember years back, Sprint was the national NASCAR.
Right.
Who is that now?
It's Monster Energy.
Monster Energy.
Yeah. For this year, this is their last year, and then NASCAR's going away from the one sponsor for the whole series, and they're going to have tiers of sponsors. And we're not sure how exactly that's going to work throughout the year, but yeah, that's who it is now, Monster Energy.
I know you had you had opened up the infield for like road races. You haven't any of those anymore? Or?
We did have at first. The timing was bad on that. The first year we had a pretty good event, and then the two series that do those road races merged. The Le Mans Series, Grand Am Series, and they merged, and now it's called IMSA. And when they did that, there were fewer races, more tracks than races, and so we kind of last in, first out on that deal. So the next year we got the lower tier cars, but didn't get the top cars that really people want to come see for that. And so we still have those discussions, but we haven't been able to get it back on their schedule recently. I also wanted to mention in the stuff over here about the scouting event, we also do a big scouting 500, and it's the largest one in the country, right? Or one of?
Yeah, it's the largest scouting event outside of a national jamboree.
Yeah.
We're bringing in between 12 and 15,000 scouts.
Yeah, every 4 years we host that, so looking forward to that when it comes back around. So, yeah.
Do you have any IRL events out there anymore? I don't know what the status is, but I know that was the first race I went to was an IRL.
Right. We've had those the first 10 years. They had a change in leadership, a change in strategy. They went to more cities and road courses and fewer ovals. And it's more of on the level of ISC and them working things out. And we've tried it at some other tracks. Hasn't really sold enough tickets like at Auto Club in California, some other tracks to really make it work at this point for our facilities. So that's why they haven't been back. And when we got the second NASCAR race, it made it difficult because they didn't want to be on the same weekend as NASCAR. So it made it difficult to fit them in. So there's always discussions about it, but until we feel like we can sell 30,000 tickets at $50 or something like that to pay them to come, because you gotta pay them to come here. And their sanctioning fee continues to increase, so, it's hard, value proposition for us to feel like we can make money, and we're a for-profit business for sure, so. Yeah.
You mentioned perceptions.
Yes.
Also. What's probably the number one perception that you have to try to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, bunch of rednecks and drunks running around. And I'm not saying it might not be the case in some tracks, you know, but for us, it's definitely not the case. I mean, we don't have very many issues with people and behavior out there. We get a lot of families. We get a little bit of everybody out there. Yeah, we get guys in their cutoff shorts and their tank tops cheering for their favorite driver, and then we'll get the guy in the khaki pants and the golf shirt coming out and just enjoying a good time. So, and just, you know, there's a lot of different perceptions that for any sporting event, I guess it probably or maybe over exaggerated a little bit. So our fans are really, really good and well behaved. It's a community. It's like a family kind of culture out there.
You know what I've found interesting a couple of times I've been out is to see a family of four, and then let's just say a couple of young kids and husband and wife, and you'll see each of them with their own racer's jacket on.
Yep.
So you got a split family.
Yep.
It's all rooting for their own individual
That's
drivers.
very true.
And it's so interesting to see that.
You get a little bit of everything. One of my favorite moments was there was a family, actually, they were all in the same driver as Jimmy Johnson. They all had their Lowe's Jimmy Johnson stuff on. He's not sponsored by Lowe's anymore, but he was for a long time. And they hung out in that infield around our media center and fan walk area for a long time. And finally, Jimmy came out from doing an interview or something, stood there and signed all their stuff for them. You know, they were just, you know, they're going to remember that the rest of their life. And that's what we try to make those kind of things happen and memories happen like that for people. And that happens a lot over the property, you know. So, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, a lot of, there's a Kyle Busch fan, a Brad Keselowski fan. They don't like each other. And when it's race time, you know, it's like KU and MU, man. Yeah. So, anybody else? Yeah.
Speed limits, has that been a detriment to the racing or keeping the cars at a lesser speed?
Well, they keep changing kind of what they call the rules with how they set up the cars and the engine. This year for our race, we don't really know what to expect, to tell you the truth, because they've lowered the horsepower to make it more in the driver's hands when it's throttle response and that kind of thing. So 2 or 3 guys don't go and have a half lap lead. Make it where they feel like they can race better in the turns and the curves, just more competitive racing. So we're not sure what the speeds are going to be. In Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, they were still running 180s or something, right? So, I mean, it wasn't a huge reduction in speed. So they're trying to make it more competitive for tracks of our size, which is 1.5 miles. But yeah, we can't let them go all out, or it won't take much to get them up in the fence and bad things happen. So they got NASCAR plays around with that and works closely with the teams on that. We want it to be a competitive race and a good experience for people for sure. Anything else? Thank you very much for your
So we have some door prize drawings, and I think this is really fun to hear about.
Interesting.
Yeah, at Kansas Speedway, NASCAR. I have it on my calendar.
All right.
So I'm going to work with you guys, and maybe because we want to, they're also a Fairfax member, and we want to help promote ticket sales. We've got 10,000 employees in Fairfax, and it'd be kind of fun to get a big Fairfax turnout. So maybe we can
work on that.
group. We'll put something together. And so we're going to do the door prize drawings. Don't leave yet, but I'm going to say thank you for coming. Everyone support each other, do business together. We are a big community. This is part of our community, so it helps support the Speedway, and hopefully spring weather's on its way soon. So Rachel, you've got the business cards.
Did everyone get a chance to put one in? And let me just take the chance to apologize for snafu for registration. Some of you know when you got here, weren't on the list, and technology is great until it's not. And yeah, so we'll get that fixed so that the RSVPs, all of them, start coming through again. I know I owe one person a refund at this point before I realized what was happening. So we'll go through everything and make sure that no one double paid.
Yeah, we don't know what happened, but
Yeah,
thanks.
it is a
thanks
weird
for
thing. Everyone, card.
Here we go.
So we've got, I believe, 5 door prizes. We have 4 from Capital Electric, and then we've got, I think, 1 from you guys, right? Okay. So this first one is $25 gift card with some Capital Electric fun things in here to Hogue Peppers.
Oh, Connor from Miller Pest.
See, it's his first meeting. There you go. And, oh, this next one is 4 tickets and parking pass to the Royals April 10th game.
Oh, Steve Fitzgerald from Environmental Works.
Hey.
Oh, you didn't have to travel far. There you go. The next one is 4 tickets and parking pass to the April 2nd Royals game.
That's awesome. Here's me warmers.
Oh, Major Anderson.
And then this is another $25 gift card to Hogue Peppers.
Tom Allen from Giving Basics.
Thank you very much.
Where was yours? The Speedway?
Yep.
It's coming.
Here it comes.
We got kind of a goodie bag here.
I might as well just stay up here, I'm gonna win it, right?
This is about the size cooler you can bring in with your food and drink, you know, it fits quite a few cans and soft-sided. You can't have the hard plastic, but soft-sided. And it's got seat cushion, a blanket, got a little car if you've got kids, golf balls if you're a golfer, that kind of stuff. But probably more importantly, it's got 2 tickets to our race. All right, so we'll see.
We need our card. My card may be in there. You work hard.
Jason Kane, Reardon
Jason.
Power.
All right.